Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video we're going to talk about, is joining Big 4 for your articleship worth it or not? So CA intern May 24 results are around the corner, and everyone who gave their examinations in the attempt and are awaiting their results might be really very anxious about whether to join Big 4 or whether to join a mid-sized firm. So I think this video will literally give you clarity of whether Big 4 are worth it or not, because I am currently pursuing my articleship from Deloitte in the risk advisory domain in Gurgaon. So I think I can really justice the question by giving you all the pros and cons of Big 4s, like what are the things which I feel are positive and what are the things which I feel that are negative. So after all this discussion, you guys can take a call of whether Big 4 will suit your nature, suit your behavior, suit your passion, suit your future dreams, or whether a mid-sized firm will. Because I am working in Deloitte from the past 1.4 years, and I literally have had bittersweet moments, because every time when you're working into corporates, there are something which are happening good, there are something which are not according to you, and you feel that this is the negative point. So this is according to my experience which I have till now had in Deloitte, and your experience can be different, and even people who are currently working also in Big 4, like as an article, their experience might also can vary. So this depends on experience to experience. Some people literally have very good experience, some people literally have very poor experience, but I think I am thinking in between, wherein I am having bittersweet experience with Deloitte. Also, a very detailed video on my experience of how I've had my experience with Deloitte will be coming soon, but this video will only focus on that, whether joining Big 4 for CA articleship is worth it or not. So without any further more discussion, let's quickly jump into the video. So first, let's talk about the pros which I feel that Big 4 has. So these are basically the points which I feel that Big 4 are worth joining for. So first thing is big clients. So Big 4s really have very good clients. They are the clients which have 1,000 crores of turnover. The quantum of their business is really very good, really very high, so that you get a very good exposure, like all the kinds of transactions you get to see, all the kinds of processes which they have, you get to see them. And whenever you are there in a mid-sized firm, the clients are usually very small, they have very low turnover, so you might not be able to see all kinds of transactions, all kinds of processes that a business have. But when you talk about big clients, they give you really very good exposure in terms of like the transactions, in terms of like the kind of work you're handling, because whenever the quantum of the work increases, your exposure will definitely increase, because the type of transactions, the type of workings, the type of processes will definitely increase, and also your exposure within this will definitely increase. So Big 4s are worth joining for the big clients, big exposure. Also, whenever you're going to a client place, the respect you get, the time, you improve your communication skills. Definitely we'll talk about this later in the video. So this was the first thing which I really feel that Big 4s are worth joining for. Not talking about the second thing, that is your personality development. So whenever you're joining a Big 4, you're basically interacting, you're networking with big people as in like the partners, the directors who have been working in the industry for the past several years. The experience they have is greater than your age. Like seriously, the experience my partner has is more than my age. So if you're talking to someone who has such a great experience in the industry you're working in, definitely your personality will develop, your communication skills will develop, because you're talking to such experienced persons, such senior persons. Also, whenever you're going to client place, you're interacting with the client. So whether it's English, whether it's Hindi, see, communication skills are basically how well you're able to articulate your thoughts into the sentences, whether it's English, whether it's Hindi. So whenever you're going to client place, you're talking to client, you're basically explaining them your observations, your findings. So you basically have to interact with client a lot. So that is why your personality will increase, your communication skills will develop. So that is why I think Big 4s really help in developing your personality overall, how you walk, how you speak, how you talk, how you basically dress up, everything is literally going to change. Because I literally feel a change in myself, how I was 1.5 years back and how I am today. My dressing sense, my way of speaking, my way of carrying myself, my way of walking has all increased, have all developed. Sorry, increased is a wrong word, but yes, it has all developed. It has all literally expanded a lot. So this is the second point which I feel that Big Fours are worth joining for, is personality development. So third thing which I really feel that Big Fours are worth joining for is the stipend they offer. So we all are aware of the lucrative stipend that Big Fours offer. So the first year it's 15, second year it's 20, third year it's 25. But in the new scheme, I think in first year it's 20 and second year it's 25. I'm not very sure of what the stipend looks like in the second year in the new scheme, but in the old scheme this was the stipend. But what I will suggest is, when you're choosing a firm for yourself, don't go for stipend. This is the time where you want to learn and not earn. Earning will happen after you qualify your CA. But when you are in your, articleship era, stipend should not be a deciding factor on which firm you need to join. The exposure, the clients, the everything else except for stipend should be a deciding factor. Until unless there is some financial problems in your family where you need to support and you are getting a chance to get into Big Four, definitely jump onto the opportunity and grab it. But if that's not the case, I think stipend should not be an issue. But still, I was just covering it into this because, of course, whenever 20,000 gets credited in your account, it really feels very good. But the next day you have to pay your rent because I'm definitely staying in a PG. So okay, keeping everything that aside, talking about staying on the video. So 20,000 rupees you're getting in a bank account, that feels very good. But in the articleship era, that should not matter. This is I'm telling you just because I feel that this is something you should know. So that is I was just telling. But yeah, Big Fours are worth joining for the stipend also. Now, fourth point, which I really feel is really very, very important for your future as well, is that if you're doing your articleship from Big Four at such a young age, or at the age of 19, like I joined Big Four at the age of 19, and when you're joining such a big brand at the age of 19, that shines in your resume. Literally, that gives your resume a very good boost, a very good picture. Like your resume literally stands out from all other candidates because you have a brand name. So Big Four literally provides you a good brand name on your resume. Like whenever you're applying for industrial training or whenever you're applying for a job, that Big Four wala tag will always give you benefits, will always benefit you in a way or other. But it definitely will. So Big Fours are really, really worth joining for a good brand name. I think literally, if you're getting a Big Four and you want a good brand name on your resume, take it, because of course there is a good exposure, there is big clients, there are everything else that is good. Okay, we'll come on the pros or cons. There are many things which are negative as well, but brand name on your resume, I think neutralizes that all. But okay, this is a call which you should take, that whether a good brand name you want or you want to neutralize all those cons a Big Four have by taking a mid-size firm. So let's see. This was the fourth point, that a good brand name will be there on a resume at such a young age, which will definitely help you throughout your career, whether it's job, whether it's industrial training. So yes, definitely it will. Now, fifth point, which I feel that Big Fours are worth joining for, is that whenever you're doing your articleship from Big Four, you connect with such a lot of people. Like they are very senior to you. Also, they are very experienced, and you form a very good network of those high worth individuals. I'm not saying that everyone you will meet in your articleship will help you in your future, will be of some or the other benefit for you in future, but at least you will have a good network. You will have their contact numbers, you will have their email addresses. You can anytime ping them if you have a good relation, of course, but at least you will have a network of all those high network or high worth people. So yeah, Big Fours are worth joining for their high worth people, which they have. Not everyone is high worth, but still majority are. So you can make a good network, you can basically make a good relationship with all of them, which will definitely help you in your future. So these were the 5 positive things which I feel that Big Fours are worth joining for. Now we're going to talk about all those negative things, all those cons which Big Four has. So the first negative thing in Big Four is, of course, the workload, which goes unsaid. Since I told you the clients are literally very big, there are MNCs, there are clients whose turnover is in 1,000 crores. So of course the workload which you have on yourself also increases. Also, whenever you're when you're initially joining a Big Four, you are literally a beginner, a fresher. You have never worked into corporates, you have never work in such an never worked on Excel, you've never worked in such an environment, so everything feels so new to you, definitely. So whenever you are initially joining a Big Four, everything feels so new, and for learning all those things, you literally need to spare a lot of extra time also apart from the office hours. So initial 4 to 5 months are literally very hectic. You have a lot of workload, and after 4 to 5 months, when you are learned the work, when you are able to do a work, of course you will have work pressure because now your seniors will give you more work because you know the work. So yes, definitely the workload which you have sustain, like it goes on for entire period of your articleship. Sometimes you have multiple tasks to do at the same time, and you have to prioritize each and every task. I mean, how can you prioritize each task and complete each of the tasks at the same time? I have only 2 hands and only 1 laptop. But okay, nonetheless, the workload is literally too much to handle sometimes. Sometimes it's chill also. Sometimes you're just logging in at 9, logging out at 6. Sometimes it's just 9 hours, because in Deloitte we have 9 hours of working time. That is, I'm telling you, logging in at 9 and logging out at 6. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's logging in at 9 a.m. and logging out at I don't know what time. But yeah, everything goes in good only. So it's definitely, there's a lot of workload. The second negative thing which I feel is that whenever you're joining a Big Four, you're given a particular domain which you have to select, like whichever domain you're selecting for yourself, that is a domain which you'll be getting into Big Four, definitely. So your experience, your knowledge is restricted to only one domain. If you are into internal audit, you will not know anything about taxes. If you are in like direct taxation, you will not know anything about what is there in internal audit, statutory audit. If you are there in statutory audit, you will have no knowledge of how internal audit is done, how direct taxes are working. So definitely, whenever you're joining a Big Four, your experience, your knowledge is restricted to only one domain, which sometimes hampers your career, sometimes it does not, because if you're going to industrial training, that neutralizes that, because industrial training, the domains basically are offered in industrial training are very different from what are offered in articleship. So definitely that neutralizes this point. But still, if you're continuing articleship for the time of 2 years, your knowledge is literally restricted only to one domain, which you can change by taking more degrees, learning more, grasping knowledge in other domains, and joining a different domain after you qualify your CA. But for your articleship, you literally feel FOMO sometimes that I'm not getting what is done in tax there or something. Whenever talking to a friend who is there in mid-size, and he or she is telling you that I have failed GST hours, I'm doing MCA compliances, ROC compliances, and you're like, what are these? How is it done? You literally feel that, but okay. Nevertheless, this was the second point which I feel that Big Fours have in negative. So third point which I feel that Big Fours are not worth joining for is the toxic culture they have. So let me just clarify that toxic culture depends on team to team. Depends on which team you're going into, how the team culture is. Sometimes that culture is really very good. Like I have few of my friends who are working into Big Fours, and they have such a great team culture. Like seriously, I am astonished by seeing the the type of relationship they have with their partners, with their directors. I mean, they just look like friends. But sometimes it is also a case that a team culture is not good, which is majority cases, that there is a lot of politics which is happening in your team, there are a lot of cultural differences which are there, there's a lot of course the politics, the toxicity, it goes all the way around. So yes, there's a chance that the team which you're landing in has a toxic culture, which is definitely not there in your hand. You cannot control which team you're landing into, because every Big Four has different teams. If I'm talking about like Deloitte also in their risk domains has various teams, different partners, different directors, so they have various teams, right? So culture depends on each team. I cannot say that Deloitte has a good culture, EVA has a bad culture, PwC has a good culture, KPMG has a good culture, bad culture. I cannot define about the Big Four. Right? Big Four it depends. It does not depend on the team. It depends on the. It does not depend on the Big Four. It depends on the team and how the culture is. The fourth point, which I really feel that Big Fours are not worth joining for, is that you get less or zero time for your studies. So now, why am I emphasizing so much on this point is that I am literally frustrated right now that I'm not able to study. I have my books literally kept right here, and I am trying to study, but I'm not. Because Monday to Friday, I'm literally so exhausted in all those office work, because I have a 9 hours of shift. Now traveling from Gurgaon to Delhi takes me 1.5 hours one way daily, because my client base is in Delhi and I'm staying here in Gurgaon. And as my client place changes, I cannot change my PG. So that is why I have to travel 1.5 hours daily one side. It's basically 3 hours a day. So 9 hours of work, 3 hours of traveling, 12 hours, 8 hours of sleep. I'm left with only 4 hours, which basically I'm using it into cooking my meals, getting dressed up for the office, doing my PG chores because I'm staying alone. So, it gets so hectic. The 5 days, the weekdays get so hectic that you have zero energy on weekends. That you're literally not able to study. So in the weekdays, forget you'll get time to study, because if you're having a 9 hours of shift like me, you're going to get zero time. But definitely when take out time on Saturday, Sunday, I'm just studying on Saturday, Sundays, taking out more and more time so that I can complete my syllabus. So yes, this is the point which I really feel that Big 4s are not worth joining for, is the time, because in mid-size you have very personal connection with your seniors that you can ask for a day off, ask for a 2-hour early relieving in the day so that you can study. Also the workload is also not too much. The work timings are also not so strict, not so hectic, so you can just take out some time for your studies as well. But here in Big 4 it's really impossible to take out time for studies. Definitely when when you're in your second year or your third year, now in the new scheme they are only 2 years. So definitely when you're in a second year or when you have learned the work, your efficiency increases so that you can do your work faster. So since you're doing your work faster, you can save some time. But other than that, initial 4 to 5 months, when you're learning the work, when you're new to the work, forget about you're going to get time to study. So here we come to the end of the video. I know that seeing Big 4 from outside feels like, wow, yeah, the offices look so good. I mean, look at the offices, they are so fascinating. Grass is always greener on the other side. Remember that. Because I literally can tell you that experience in Big 4 which you feel you'll get is very different, and the reality which you get is very different. It is literally a reality it is literally a very expectation versus reality check which you'll get when you join Big 4. But definitely I'm telling you that joining Big 4 should be there in a checklist, that one time you literally need to have that experience of a Big 4. And if you're getting that experience in Articleship, go grab that. If you're getting an offer letter, if you're getting a chance to work into Big 4, don't deny that. Don't ever do that mistake. You will regret that in an entire lifetime. All those cons which I have told you will neutralize at some point or the other. Like as I told you about the work culture, you will get habitualized. Habitualized, what is the word I'm using? I mean, you will get that habit of staying in the circle of those people. You will get a habit of the politics. You will. But once you have that brand name on your resume, once you have that knowledge, once you have that experience and everything of Big 4, definitely that is going to help you, because having a corporate life experience in such a early career will impact you throughout your life. So of course joining Big 4 should be there in a checklist, but for an articleship or not, that depends on you, that how you want your life to look. If you're into practice, if you want to go into CA practice, then don't join Big 4, you're not going to get any help. But if you're someone who wants to go into corporate only, that you have to spend entire life into job, then Big 4 is something you should definitely go for. But choose a domain wisely. I'm going to make a detailed video on which domain you can choose, which domain had what kind of work, and everything about, I'll cover everything of domain related. I'll post a video really very, very soon before your results are announced, so that you can start applying as soon as the results are announced. So definitely I feel that you got a lot of knowledge of how Big 4 life is. So if this video was helpful, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments how was the video, and also let me know that what kind of videos do you want me to make, what kind of help do you want from me. Also, if you need any one-to-one guidance, you can book a topmate session with me. The link is in the description box below. Please follow me on LinkedIn, join my Telegram channel. All the links are given in the description box. Do share this video with your friends. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.